Welcome back from the break, and coming up is our review of the big blockbuster Kingsman. Matthew Vaughn directs Kingsman, a stylish spoof about a secret British spy league headquartered in a Savile Row tailor shop. Its impeccably dressed members see themselves as modern-day Knights of the Round Table with code names that include Chief Agent Arthur, played by Michael Caine, Merlin, played by Mark Strong, and the suave and lethal Galahad, aka Harry Hart, played by Colin Firth. To replace a fallen agent, Harry brings aboard a street punk named Eggsy, played by Taron Egerton, and transforms him into a debonair gent and deadly super agent. Eggsy takes part in the Kingsman's mission to bring down Valentine, played by Samuel L. Jackson, a deranged tech mogul with a plan to exterminate most of humankind.
Well, Fahad, even being in India, we tend to either love Bollywood or hate Bollywood. It's a very acquired taste, and I can see where that comes from, because how much can you suspend yourself in disbelief is really what it really boils down to from an audience perspective. And for me, this was a hardcore Bollywood movie. It has that prologue, it has the film, and it has the epilogue, and it has a locket which which the character when he's a child wears, and then he grows up with the locket around. This could have been directed by Manmohan Desai, and like all Bollywood movies, in some form or the other, it is a spoof of a genre, and of course we're spoofing the spy genre here. So for people who really love that genre, for instance I do, I mean, this was very, very hard for me to take. So like, dude, you're spoofing a spoof, because why do you need to spoof us James Bond? James Bond is a spoof himself.
Well, it goes much more than that, Mayank. I too am a huge fan of the spy thrillers, and for me, immediately when I saw the first frame with Colin Firth as with those glasses, it was Michael Caine from the 1960s films, playing Harry Palmer, The Ipcris Files, The $1 Million Brain, Funeral in Berlin, and this really is a very loving homage by Matthew Vaughn to that genre. These are also those great TV shows like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Get Smart, all that stuff. So, and every single thing, there's so many in-jokes. Right. And if you're anyone who's a buff of that kind of genre, you will see 100 such homages peppered right through the film. This has also been calibrated to be a stylish, bringing back British style into the world. You've got a fantastic wardrobe, Savile Row suits and all of that. So it's really sexy, funny and smart, and I had a blast with this film.
Well, getting on to oh my god moments, Fahad, and I completely agree with you. There's so many inside jokes in this film, and I think for people who are getting each portion of it purely because they've seen something that the movie is referring to, it's going to be a lot of fun. But, I think they overdo the whole thing. I, of course, enjoyed some portions of it. I was learning a little bit about whiskey, 1962 Dalmore. I learned a little bit about brandy, 1815, Napoleonic brandy.
Yes, exactly.
I learned a little bit about movies. So there's Trading Places, there's Nikita. I learned, of course, a little bit about English legend. There's King Arthur, there's Galahad, there's Lancelot. So yes, I think there's a whole lot of mentions which, is one of those pop culture references. Of course, with JB, it could be James Bond, it could be Jack Bauer, it could be Jason Bourne. So there's just too many references where everything is just blowing up in terms of the visual side of it, and the dialogue is all like, I know this and I know that. So I mean, in a way it is cool, but I think it was just way over the top for me.
Well, what was over the top for you was great fun for me. But what was really oh my god is the fact that Matthew Vaughn, the director, had approached Oscar Pistorius to play the main villain. So Oscar Pistorius actually declined playing this killer in the film because he wanted to train for his Olympics, Paralympics. And guess what? I mean, the role went to a woman called Gazelle in the film, and she plays this very deadly killer. Except that Oscar Pistorius then turned out to be a killer in real life. And there's a scene where Gazelle shoots down somebody through a door, a bathroom door. And that's pretty much what happened to Oscar Pistorius. So life and art, all very, very murky. Oh my God.
Well, to be very frank with you, this is an over-the-top Bollywood film directed by Manmohan Desai. But of course, if it's ever possible to go over the top beyond Manmohan Desai himself, it's a series of homage. But if you were to really boil it down to two things, one is it's the opposite, because Colin Firth is in this one too, is the opposite of Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy, and it's a spoof of a spoof. Well, it's not my scene. I'll give it a complete pickle.
Mayank Shekhar, I cannot believe you just said that. This has got to be one of the funniest, wittiest, wickedest films I've seen in a long, long time. It's thoroughly delightful, and I urge you guys, disregard this man, go straight to the theaters with an emphatic dekho.